Yo, what's poppin' YouTube? It is your boy, MatthiasReX, and I'm finally getting around to a video that I've wanted to do for y'all for a little bit now, and that's basically just streetwear. Let's talk about it, right? The pros and cons of being in the streetwear. It's 2019. Streetwear's been around for a little while now. Y'all are probably watching this like, hey, Matthias, we already really knew about streetwear, dude. It's like been around for a minute, dude. Like, it's nothing new, dude. I understand, right? But I'm basically just gonna give like a little bit of an overview, super general, of I guess my thoughts of what are the goods and the bad and the ugly of being into streetwear in this day and age, where I might think it's going, and what that could mean for you. So let's get into it, right? I want to start with, I guess, the cons of like being in the streetwear, and some of these come from a bit of like anecdotal experiences and things like that, but I'd say one big thing that, for me at least, and I'm sure a lot of other people will agree, especially like if you're a sneakerhead or a hypebeast, releases being difficult to get. Now listen, right? I understand releases have always been difficult to get, right? Matthias, it's 2019, releases have been difficult to get since 2015. What are you talking about, bro? But listen, hear me out here, right? Things that are hyped and super hyped have just been getting more hyped and harder to get, right? Think about the Off-White x Nike collabs, 350s. Although those are kind of falling a bit out of hype now, they're taking a bit of a resurgence, especially with the release of the pirate blacks, as people would like to call them, even though they're not really pirate blacks, they're just called blacks, I know. But releases of those and other Yeezys or things like that. I know Off-White has been like the really large collab that Nike's had, the really hype thing. Like if you were to think streetwear, the most hyped items, Off-White, Travis Scott ones, another beautiful example I just remembered, and like other variations and colorways of the Air Jordan 1 that have been coming out. These things can just be so hard to get. And the thing is that that's not all, you know. A little anecdotal story here. I remember camping out last year for a shoe that I really wanted. That came out in high school. That was doing a reiteration of the new version, the Nike SB Diamond Dunks. And I went to go camp out, and it's like, waited so long, and I'm thinking, right, like these, yeah, they're dunks and like they're diamond dunks, and this is like when dunks are kind of coming a little bit back into research, and like, no, not too many people are gonna want these, right? Like, I'm definitely gonna get them. The store I went to Extra Butter. They were selling one pair per person, right? So I'm thinking like, all right, lit, this should be like an easy cop, right? Everybody's only gonna get one pair. Like, if people want to resell, like, they're only gonna have one pair to flip. So I go there, and of course, you just gotta love it when your whole 8 hours goes to dust. Thanos snap just like that right in front of your eyes, because a couple of monkeys want to get the release, trying to push past the security, and that release got shut down. And I'm thinking like, dang, like, really? For diamond dunks? Like, these ones aren't even that cool. Like, people weren't really saying these were that cool, that hot, and they were only going for like 50 to 60 over on StockX. You got a release shut down for 50, 60 beans, bro? You're only getting one pair? Come on now, right? And it's just small things like that that happen all the time. And I know you're thinking like, these things happen all the time, Matthias. This is nothing new. I understand, right? But the thing is that the hype items just stay super hype, and they keep getting hype. And if you're one of those people that really is into those items, they can be really hard to get. Think about how many times you've tried for Off-White Nikes on the sneakers app. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Think about the Air Jordan, the AJ1s, the Travis Scotts. Do you have a pair? Maybe you do. If you do, good for you. You're a really lucky person, because you really do have to be lucky to get a lot of those. The hype things stay hyped, and they just keep getting more hyped and more expensive. You know, you check on StockX a couple months later, see if the prices drop. They only go up. That's just how it is, you know. That, I think, is a big con today in streetwear. If you are somebody that is into super hyped items, whatever the hottest Supreme collab is at the time, those things are super hard to get your hands on. Whereas I would say maybe, especially for Supreme items, back in the day, those were a little bit easier to get. And I can't really say back in the day as if I've been a Supreme head for like a minute. But it's like, I know from like people and like friends that have told me like, yo, you could just go camp out and you're like almost guaranteed some items sometime. Another, I guess, kind of con is that there's not really a lot of diversity in what's popular. You know, like the super hype, super popping items, you know, ones, whatever Virgil's doing. It's not really any like diversity in that. Nothing really different. There's not a large kind of repertoire to choose from in hyped items or super popular items in today's streetwear world, you know. Like I said, the biggest things that I can think of, if I had to think of streetwear and the most hyped items, it's definitely Off-White x Nike, for sure, 1000%. Next, I'd say whatever Travis Scott is putting out, that's like the next big thing. Adidas hasn't really been on the radar, but I would say Yeezys here and there, but they are kind of hit and miss nowadays. And I'll kind of get into like items being hit and miss a little bit later in this video. Another thing that I would say is a con in today's streetwear age is sometimes StockX. Now, StockX is a pro and a con, and I'll get into why it's great later. But think about it, right? Before StockX, you could resell things, and you could put, now, of course, you can't just slap any price on an item and think people are going to buy it, but it was way easier to haggle. Nowadays, trying to resell something, StockX kind of sets a standard, and StockX has become the standard for the reselling market, you know? If you think about, like, a shoe when it comes out, like what's it going for, you're always going to check StockX. You're not going to hit up like, you know, the Facebook groups or the Reddits or the Discords or what have you to see how much it's going for, how much people are selling it. People won't even check Grailed really first anymore. It's always StockX, and StockX has become the standard, and StockX has become so large that it is the standard. Now, like, it's like you really have to bargain almost with what people are doing on StockX. And when a shoe comes out or any other release and it's sold on StockX, those first couple days, that price will dip. So if you're like a reseller, you're probably like, dang, do I cop and then like blow my load, for lack of better terms, on StockX, and then like just try and like go for that price that it's going there? Do I hold on to it for a while and make an investment? And sometimes those things can be hit or miss, because I think StockX really does dominate the market, and like whatever that standard is, it's only going up and down, and usually it goes down and takes a little bit less activity and attention for an item to really go back up. But now let's get into the pros of being in the streetwear. We love it. It's great. Why is it great though, right? So, one pro. I mentioned before that super hyped items just stay hyped, and then it's like they're so hard to get. But that's a good thing. And let me tell you why. So, because certain items will get so hyped, let's say you have maybe a really cool Air Max 90 coming out one weekend, but it's also coming out the same weekend as a Off-White Nike collab. I don't think this has ever actually happened in one weekend, but yeah, let's say you have one item coming out around the same time another super hyped item is coming out. That one item, if people aren't really feeling it that much, it's not really going to go for a lot on StockX. The price will probably dip really soon. You can probably get it really easily, and it'll be an easy cop, you know, because people are paying so much attention to what's popular and what's new, and because there isn't so much of a diversity in that, you know, certain items that are probably really good that you might actually like, you can get for cheap. One example of this, the Mars Air Max 90s that came out. I got a pair and I was super hyped. I was super excited because I love Air Max 90s. I'm a huge Air Max 90 head, and I don't really have a lot of pairs. I kind of just like them. But anyway, I like them a lot. I love the silhouette, and the Mars pair that came out, I was like, yo, these are basically like the lunar Mars, but the lunar Mars. These are basically, but the lunar, I can't freaking talk. These are basically the lunar Air Max 90s, but Mars. And I love space. I've always like really been interested in space for a while, so I'm like, yo, these are a definite cop. Like when they got leaked, I was like, these are a definite cop. I hope I can get them. And I thought, dang, it's gonna be hard to get them. But I was able to get them for not too much over retail on StockX, while the lunar pair is going for 1,000, probably still a little bit over 1,000 for my size. So it's cool, you know. And like the pair of that shoes is like, if I waited a bit longer, I would have got them for like around retail, maybe a little bit under. And that's really the good thing about like these releases that come out, and they're not like the super hype thing that everybody's talking about, but they might still be something that you're interested in. You can get them for cheaper if they sell out right away, you know. StockX while it can hurt a little bit sometimes for resellers, and I know there are resellers out there that love StockX. Like, I'm not saying StockX is terrible, of course not. It's great. It can really do great things for you if an item you want isn't super hyped. Think about the undercover daybreaks that just came out. Those are probably sitting on StockX right now around my size for like retail or under. So if those are something that you really wanted to get, you can go get those, because everybody's focused on the Black 350 V2s that came out. You know, things like that. Another great thing about streetwear in 2019 is streetwear communities. Now, these things have been around for a while. We have your Facebook buying and selling groups, we've got the Reddit subreddits, and now things on Discord, right? So these things aren't new, but I think now in today's time, they're really like great, you know? Some would disagree, and it really depends on where you go and like who you find and who you speak to and like what niche you kind of fit into. But I feel like there's really like a subreddit or a Discord chat for basically all your streetwear needs, and I've encountered some pretty dope people on the internet just talking about streetwear. There's a lot of like inspo out there, and people like share their fits, what'd you wear today threads, all these different things. And I think Discord really is, I've heard and I've experienced a little bit now that I'm getting kind of back into like getting into the community of things. Discord's a really cool place to find great people that are into streetwear. Streetwear communities are really good online, and it's really easy to just get connected with people all around the world, all around the country, and just talk streetwear and things like that. And it's also really a nice place to like find out about sales, find out about events, things that are going on, or just whenever people want to link and like, I don't know, take flicks or something. Really cool stuff. Another really awesome thing about streetwear in today's age is that because streetwear has kind of been around for so long, some people would say that this is going to lead to the downfall of streetwear, but I like to think that it kind of enriches streetwear, and that's basically streetwear kind of molding and meshing in with like different fashion forms and different genres of fashion. You know, there's such a large diversity in streetwear. Like, yeah, the things that might be super popular, the things that people really care about, I guess like more generally hypebeast, which is for the average person outside of streetwear, that's what they think about when they think streetwear is hypebeast and hypebeast culture. You know, there's such a wide range of just styles and looks and communities and cultures just outside of that, and streetwear really has grown into like such a large thing. I wouldn't even like call streetwear, you can't really contain streetwear in one term. Like, you have to really be specific, like what kind of streetwear are you talking about, because streetwear has encompassed so many different forms, and it's a bit easier for people to get into it because there's really a style for everyone, I think, that can still be considered within the realms of streetwear, you know. And that's a really cool thing that I think is awesome about streetwear, that I love about it. You know, like one day you can have a full hype feast, head to toe, Supreme, Jordan 1s, fit, or whatever, and that can be just as streetwear as if you're kicking it chill and you probably have on like a pair of like Oswegos or something and like a flannel like this, and it's just relaxed, and a pair of like slacks. You know, like streetwear has taken like so many different forms, and I think that's really beautiful that it is proliferated to that point. Super cool. All right, and that is all I have for y'all today in this video. If there was anything you liked about this video, let me know in the comments. If there's something you didn't like about this video, let me know in the comments. Something I might have missed, let me know in the comments. I really appreciate and love y'all's feedback, and I'd like to kind of keep this discussion going. Like, where do you think streetwear kind of goes from here, and what do you think is the best thing about streetwear, or maybe the worst thing about streetwear in 2019? Definitely let me know, and I'll get back to you. I'll read your comments, reply, all that stuff. Don't forget to like, and please share this video with your friends. If you have any friends that are in fashion, streetwear, all that other jazz, let them know that I'm trying to make this content, or that this video exists, or whatever, dude. But yeah, anyways, it was awesome kicking it with y'all. It's been your boy, MatthiasReX, and I'm out. Peace.